The Wells Infinity Dirt late models have been fast in the hands of Ryan Gustin, but big question marks surround Wells' own driver, Brandon Overton, headed into the big week at Eldora. We'll talk about that, plus some sprint car news, schedule changes, and more. Let's go. It's Wednesday, September 4th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. At Eldora Speedway today, it's FloRacing night in America time with a 20,000 to win main event. This race was originally slated for Dirt Late Model Dream Week, but was pushed back to World 100 Week after it was rained out. Through 4 Flo races this season, Bobby Pierce leads the Midweek Series Championship over Ricky Thornton Jr. They are separated by just 9 points right now. They have 2 wins each, obviously the only drivers to win this season. 2 wins each, 2 drivers, 4 races. 9 drivers have made every feature up to this point. They are Pierce RTJ, Dalton Wilson, Jason Fager, Garrett Alberson, Spencer Hughes, Dennis Erb Jr., Miles Moose, and Carson Ferguson. Remember, on top of the race purse money, drivers are competing for a $75,000 championship check as long as they have perfect attendance. If they don't have perfect attendance, they win the championship. It's $50,000. Mike Marlar won this race a year ago when it was run in April, and he could certainly use a good run right now. He's fallen well out of contention for the Lucas playoffs and hasn't won with either national tour since Golden Isles way back in February. I think tonight you're probably looking at the usual suspects for the win. That means Jonathan Davenport, RTJ, Pierce, Devin Moran, maybe some guys like Hudson O'Neal, Tim McCready. At last check, we are up to 106 entries for the World 100, and I would assume the vast majority would take the chance tonight to get on track. Even if they don't make the main event, those extra laps could be valuable for tweaking cars and setups for the rest of the week. After tonight, the next Flow Series event is next Thursday at I-75. That will lead into the World of Outlaws weekend at Sonoya and Talladega. If you're not headed for Eldora this week, you can watch it live on FloRacing. One driver I didn't mention above, and one I'll be super curious to see this week, is Brandon Overton. Going back through 2021, Overton has just as many victories during Eldora Crown Jewel events as does Jonathan Davenport, which includes the big shows and the prelims. But he hasn't been to Victory Land at Eldora since that rescheduled dream in September of 2022. The 2023 events at Eldora were not kind to the Georgia driver, but he did look better in June this year. He was 10th on his prelim night and finished 3rd behind Jonathan Davenport and Bobby Pierce at the Dream. Unfortunately for him, though, the car he was driving back in June was junked in a Southern Nationals race at Wythe in July. Something broke in the car. Overton pounded the wall in 1 and 2 before the car turned over. The piece was written off, and they've been using a different Wells 76 Infinity chassis in the month since. Kind of feels like a bad luck moment has turned into a pivotal point in Overton's season because it doesn't seem as though the other car or cars they've been using are as good. Overton hasn't won a feature since a split field show at Volunteer in June, and while it hasn't gone badly by any stretch of the imagination, his recent regional performances have not exactly set the world on fire. He's allowed Sam Seawright to hang around in the title fight with the Hunt the Front series. And this is at a time when Ryan Gustin, also in a Wells Infinity, is one of the hottest drivers in the country. Gustin's coming off a $50,000 score with XR and won recent outlaw races at Atomic and Cedar Lake. Overton was solid, though, at the North-South 100. He finished 5th on the final night, and there could be some hope this week. The Wells team is bringing a new car to Eldora for the World, as reported by Dirt on Dirt, and they took the Labor Day weekend off to get everything ready. They do have tonight's race on their schedule, but it's going to be tough to put them high up on the win chances list this week unless they show some significant pace tonight. Hopefully they do, though, because I think Eldora and these Crown Jewels are just a lot more fun with Overton in the mix. Real quick, if you are a fan of these daily shows, please consider subscribing wherever you tune in and throwing a like on the videos. We're headed towards 35,000 on YouTube with my goal set at 40,000 subscribers by year's end. Hitting that subscribe button is free, and it will help ensure you don't miss any news, any insights as we head into what will be a very busy and interesting end to the 2024 dirt racing season. Nearly 200,000 people watched a video on the YouTube channel alone in the month of August, so I know there are some of you watching right now who do not subscribe. To those that do already subscribe, big thanks for the support. USAC Sprint Cars are making a trip south this week for what was supposed to be 3 races, 1 at RPM Speedway in Texas and 2 at Texarkana 67 Speedway in Arkansas. Unfortunately, that RPM Speedway date has been canceled. The release said, quote, "It will not take place due to complications arising for the facility to host this week's event," unquote. Not quite sure what that means, but I guess it doesn't really matter. The race isn't going to happen. So the focus shifts to Texarkana 67, Friday 6,000 a win, Saturday 10,000 a win. Logan Seavey leads Brady Bacon and Dazen Persley right now for that USAC Sprint Car Championship. And another schedule note for you, this one announced here just a little bit ago, there will be no Speed Showcase weekend at Port Royal in October for the Short Track Super Series Modifieds. This one also seems a bit odd, especially with this event still well over a month away. The quote in the announcement was, "After careful consideration, both parties have made this difficult decision due to challenges faced throughout the 2024 season, coupled with the need to focus on projects at Port Royal Speedway before the winter season sets in." That kind of feels like saying a whole lot of things without saying anything. If you remember back to last year, this event was postponed and actually run this year in March. And this announcement points to a similar setup for 2025 with, quote, "plans already underway to make the March 2025 event a memorable one," unquote. This coming weekend's Tuscarora 50 will be the final racing of the season at Port Royal. I missed this one from a few days ago, but if you're a Midwest Sprint Car fan, Huset's track champion Kaleb Johnson getting the opportunity to travel a bit here late in 2024. With Huset's done for the year, Johnson will take his family 22K machine to Wisconsin this week for the IRA show at Cedar Lake, and then he'll run Eagle in Nebraska on Sunday with the MSTS. That Eagle race will kick off a several-week stretch where he'll race again for Dennis Gainey's Team DGRD. They'll race at Eagle and Shelby County, and then go to Eldora later this month for the Four Crown Nationals with the High Limit Sprint Car Series. After that, they'll run a weekly show at Williams Grove late in September before trying their luck during the National Open with the World of Outlaws. Johnson took a significant step forward this season in performance, making every World of Outlaws and High Limit feature he attempted, barring the Knoxville Nationals. He had a top 10 at Ogilvie and was 8th on Hard Knocks night at Knoxville. I think this will be a great chance for a regional guy to get his feet wet at some new racetracks. At the IMCA Super Nationals yesterday, Jake Sackow was a Sport Mod Race of Champions winner. Corey Probst won the Hobby Stock Race of Champions, and Brad Chandler won the night's Sport Compact main event. Preliminary action continues today at Boone Speedway for the stock cars, modifieds, hobby stocks, and Northern Sport Mods. Again, racing starts at 2 p.m. And the Super Nationals are listed on the streaming schedule at DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. If you want some more dirt racing audio this week, Dirt Track Confessions has Max McLaughlin. QuickTime has Sean Neistat. Getting Up to Speed has Nathan Duragan. Caution Free has Eric Westendorf. And there are new episodes of The Dirt Reporters, Dirt Tracks and Rib Racks, Racing Roundup, Plum Wild, and The Drivers Project. To see the full rundown on the shows and their newest episodes, visit DIRTRACKR.com/podcasts. That's it for the show today. I'm going to make one more request. If you guys listen to the podcast version of this show, leave us a review. We have 120-something reviews on Apple Podcasts. We have 120-something reviews on Spotify. So let's see if we can get those numbers pumped up a little bit. Obviously, I would hope that you guys would leave a good review, but I'm open to constructive feedback as well. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.